dear guests here at the Epic Museum in Dublin, and also those who are watching us remotely through our live stream. Welcome to the closing ceremony of this year's CEB Award for Social Cohesion. My name is Jelica Vesic, and I am the coordinator for the CEB Award, which is currently in its third year. The objective of this award has always been to recognize outstanding social projects in Europe, not just financially through a prize of 25,000 euros, but also by shining a light to their many achievements. And this award ceremony is therefore an important occasion to spotlight examples of incredible social work around Europe. With this ceremony, we are also kicking off the CEB's 55th joint meeting, hosted this year by the Irish authorities for the first time. At this point, I would like to invite the CEB Governor Carlo Monticelli to give us a few words and a little bit of the context about the CEB Award for Social Cohesion. Governor, you have the floor.
Dear guests here and those who are seeing us online, I am really delighted to be here. This is, as Madame Jelica was saying, the third CEB Award, but the very first that as a ceremony in person. I attach a lot of significance to this fact because, in a way, I would like to consider it as us turning a page on COVID. Now, we hear, alas, worrying numbers, but still I would want to take this as a sign of optimism that we are able to look at each other's faces when giving this award. Now, this award has a special significance for us because it is really meant to testify to our unique social mandate and really try to raise the attention on this fact and give an encouragement to the creativity and ingenuity that we find in our member state in pursuing this mandate. And indeed, our idea has been well received. I should say very, very well received, with the interest in the award that has surpassed by far our expectations. In 3 editions, we have received nearly 300 nominations from 27 countries across Europe, involving social enterprises, NGOs, municipalities, associations, and the other striking fact is the width and breadth of sectors covered by the projects that have been put forward. Let me just mention some. We have vocational education for people with disabilities, mentoring, coaching, and fostering entrepreneurship for the most disadvantaged, harnessing digital technologies to connect those in need, engaging the youth through art and culture, supporting people with mental health program. Well, in this context, we are well aware that the CEB Award is really a drop in the ocean of social cohesion needs, but is really particularly significant, I believe, just for encouragement it gives to come up with new ideas, creative ideas, just exploiting resources and human resources, the human touch in the best way possible. Now, this year's nominations were really characterized by one theme standing out, and the theme was the one of migration. And indeed, the majority of projects that were put forward in the submissions try to bring the newcomers, be they asylum seekers, refugees, migrants, displaced people, with a wider community to get together and really to be part of the same social fabric. Clearly, migration is a theme that very closely resonates with the CEB mandate. It is no accident, and we are here to give the award, to have our cocktail in this museum devoted to migration. And we have seen now a new wave of, let's call it, movement of people coming from the tragedy of war that has once again given European citizens the chance to show solidarity. And this has happened in many countries, and this has happened in Ireland, with really an amount of Ukrainians seeking a host home here that is quite remarkable given the size of the country. So now I really want to leave the floor to others, and most importantly to those who will have the chance to give you an idea of how interesting and worthy are the project, even though, alas, only one could get the prize. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Governor. Now, it's my pleasure to present to you 6 outstanding projects that have been shortlisted among more than 60 nominations that we received this year. I will list them in the alphabetical order of their countries. We can actually move to the first slide, Alan. And so the first project is actually from Ireland. It's called the Sanctuary Runners. The Sanctuary Runners is a bridge builder bringing asylum seekers, refugees, and the wider community together to run, walk, or jog. There are currently over 8,000 international protection applicants in Ireland, but their opportunities for interaction with the wider host community are limited. The Sanctuary Runners project provides a safe and easily accessible space for integration and for relationship building. That was our first shortlisted project, and for the second one, we actually stay in Ireland. The second one is also from Ireland. Recruit Refugees Ireland connects refugees and international protection applicants to decent work opportunities through a platform for employers, candidates, and partners. It functions just like a regular recruitment agency, so it checks the candidates for job readiness, organizes upskilling courses if needed, sets milestones, helps candidates with their CVs, and connects them with the right employer. From Ireland, we move to Lithuania, where we have arts agency Artscape, based in Lithuania, and it launched Creative Missions, whereby young professional artists and educators visit refugee reception centers and engage with children, women, and men who live there, sometimes for a very long time. Through art, creativity, and imagination, this project nurtures the mental health of those living in uncertainty about their future and with limited opportunities for outside interaction. From Lithuania, the next stop is Poland. One of the shortlisted projects is Center for Integration and Psychophysical Development for Refugees in Rzeszów. It is based in Subcarpathian Voivodeship of Poland, and it provides Ukrainian refugees, who are mainly women and children, with opportunities to access services related to physical and to mental health. And the goal of this project is to help them with preserving the sense of agency and facilitate their adaptation to the host community. From Poland, we go to Romania, where we have Ateliere Fără Frontiere. This is a project which creates pathways to social inclusion and employment for the most disadvantaged, persons with disabilities, those on long-term unemployment, the homeless, victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. The project offers a safe environment for a work integration program that lasts 2 years. During this time, the beneficiaries receive practical experience, personalized counseling, training, and job placement. And finally, our sixth project is from Turkey, Embark project. It builds meaningful connections between business leaders and newcomer youth of migrant and refugee background. And this is done through reverse mentoring, which helps young people develop soft skills necessary for success in the labor market. The program also changes the negative narrative about refugee and migrant youth and recognizes the value that they add to the host community. So these are the 6 outstanding projects this year. The question is, which one is going to get the prize? And so at this point, I am very happy to invite Claudia Luciani, who is the president of the CEB Award jury, as well as director for Human Dignity, Equality and Governance at the Council of Europe, to reveal the identity of this year's winner. Claudia, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Jelica. Good evening, everybody. It is my honor as president of the jury to announce to you the winner of this year's CEB's Award for Social Cohesion. I have the pleasure of chairing a very rich and quite long discussion with my fellow members. There's only one hiding here, Tomasz, on the merits of each one of the shortlisted projects just presented to you. I would like to use this opportunity to thank the members of the jury for the passion and dedication they brought to this process. They come from very different backgrounds and areas of work, but they share a common passion for social good in Europe and a strong belief that no one should be left behind. These are very much the values that are at the heart of the Council of Europe and, of course, of the Bank for many decades now. This year, the award, as you have heard from the governor, has attracted many, many submissions, more than 140, of which 64 completed nominations that met the minimum eligibility criteria. A pre-selection panel comprising 4 CEB staff members with expertise in social projects, monitoring and evaluation, reviewed all nominations and assessed them on impact, sustainability, innovation, and replicability. Following this rigorous process, our independent jury of experts judged the 6 shortlisted projects against exactly the same criteria. All of the projects, in their own unique way, strive to tackle a pressing social issue in their countries and communities. Most of them, in this year's batch, as you've heard, focus on long-term integration of newcomers and on creating solid ties between migrants and their new communities. We were truly moved by so many different examples of solidarity and innovation, which share a common goal of meaningful social impact. And that's why it took us so long to deliberate. Out of the 6 wonderful projects, one stood out. One. It is therefore my great pleasure to announce that the winner of the 2022 CEB Award for Social Cohesion is art agency Artscape with its Creative Missions project. Congratulations. I'll give you the award now. This is your award, and say still a few words about this project because it was so interesting. Stay here. Working in collaboration with artists, local communities, and vulnerable groups in Lithuania, This organization nurtures self-expression, active participation in society matters, and seeks social cohesion. Creative missions are organized and led by Artscape as regular visits by artists, educators, to refugee reception and registration centers in the country. Children, women, and men who have been stuck in migration centers for many months, sometimes in limbo, and without any clarity about their future, often face a lot of mental health issues. They struggle to keep their dignity and their sense of worth. Creative missions provide them a safe space to foster imagination and resilience. As we all know, art is a very powerful vector of integration, and the Artscape project has brilliantly proven it. I would like now to give the word to Aiste Ulubey, founder and director of Artscape. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Heavy award in all meanings. I'm very honored and humbled and want to say a huge thank you on behalf of a big team of educators, artists, and volunteers of Artscape. This award is a huge encouragement for all NGOs who are working in migration in Lithuania, and also encouragement for cultural organizations to be actively involved and take part in work with refugees. Creative Missions was started in 2021, and the meaning of the project was to create safe space and sense of belonging for people who are living in these harsh situations where they don't know what the future gonna hold, what tomorrow gonna hold. And our educators, our artists, was done extraordinary work and is an example of humanity, passion, and commitment. I would like to say that there are thousands of children, women and men incarcerated as I speak. So this award goes to them and to all who show humanity and compassion working with refugees. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, Claudia and Ice. They're really very inspiring words. It's hard to take the floor after this. We are nearing the end of the ceremony, and I would actually like to invite Senator Fiona O'Loughlin, who is the head of the Irish delegation to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, to give us a few parting words.
Thank you very much, and on behalf of the Irish delegation to the Council of Europe, it really gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you here to this very distinguished event, and indeed to the absolute excitement and joy of those who have been awarded. So congratulations to Artscape. It sounds like a really fabulous project, but I'd also like to congratulate the 6 different groups who got into the final, because I've no doubt that that is difficult in itself. And I think EPIC here is a very appropriate place for us to meet, considering the very unique themes that this unique museum has, both in relation to departures and arrivals and the Irish diaspora, and those themes of what it means to be truly Irish for us, while we're all reflecting on the whole theme of what it really means to be European right here and right now. And I'm very pleased for the bank, which is the oldest international financial institution in Europe and the only one with an exclusively social vocation, to be able to finally hold its joint committee in Dublin 2 years after it had intended to, but of course, like so many other life events, had to be put on hold since 2020 due to the pandemic. So the awards that indeed would have been launched at that occasion in Dublin in 2020, and the first winner, I think, would have been announced at that meeting that was going to take place in 2020. So we're finally happy, it's come full circle, and 2 years later, Ireland has finally been able to hold this really lovely ceremony where the third winner has just been announced. And I think that the awards themselves are truly a great part of the bank, and they certainly very much keep in with the philosophy and the mission of the bank, which has absolutely been phenomenal in terms of its breadth, with close to 300 nominations over 3 years and 29 of our countries represented. And I know that on this occasion, I think 21 different countries were represented, with something like, I think, 69 general applicants. So it's absolutely fantastic. As leader of the Irish delegation to PACE, myself and my colleagues took great pride in joining with our colleagues right across Europe to advocate for and to ensure the expulsion of the Russian Federation from the Council of Europe. And we called, and still call, for stronger sanctions and stand absolutely steadfast in our belief that the core values of human rights, democracy and the rule of law must be protected, and that the Council of Europe must continue to be a beacon of hope and democracy, not just for member states, but indeed for the whole world. Ireland has always advanced and pushed to uphold European ideals, and in the wake of war on our continent, our goal as President will be to restate our core values, ensuring that the Council of Europe plays its part in protecting the human rights of Ukrainians and other European citizens while holding Russia to account. We must protect the shared values that we hold dear, and projects such as those that we have gathered this evening to honour, projects of cohesion and social conscience, can only succeed when we uphold the fundamentals of our countries' and continent's unity. And Ireland's presidency will build upon those foundations, and of course the bank plays a very pivotal role in our ability to advance such causes. As a newly appointed rapporteur on the future of the Council of Europe, I will be engaging extensively with all different facets on in relation to where the Council of Europe stands and what it needs to do. For over 70 years, the Council of Europe has built a system of human rights, the rule of law and democracy in Ireland that is truly unique in the world. In our current geopolitical landscape, it's vital to rebuild peace in a Europe ravaged by war, and again to support Ukraine and other countries that are directly impacted, because so many more are, by the Russian aggression against Ukraine. And this must be the number one focus of our efforts as an organisation. So Ireland will strive to serve the Council of Europe as it adjusts to the expulsion of one of its largest members, and will refocus its resources to respond to the plight of another Ukraine. And our highest priority will be to ensure that the Council of Europe brings its considerable expertise and experience to bear in support of Ukraine and the millions displaced, vulnerable people displaced by the war. And in that regard, we'll pursue three clear complementary aims: that of our founding freedoms, reinforcing human rights and the protection of civilians in Europe; hearing our voices, which is about promoting participatory democracy and youth engagement; and Fáilte, which I extend here to you tonight, fostering a Europe of welcome, inclusion and diversity. The role of the CEB will be crucial in our joint efforts to rebuild and to reaffirm European ideals, and it's a very valuable expression of solidarity and social cohesion within Europe. And all of the shortlisted projects that we have gathered to honour tonight, and indeed to commend, all perfectly reflect the values that the Council of Europe and the CEB aim for: ensuring cohesive, inclusive communities and breaking the barriers that divide us. And in bad times, we must always remember, as our Nobel Literature Award-winning poet Seamus Heaney said, even if the hopes you started out with are dashed, hope has to be maintained. In many, many ways, this bank is that beacon of hope. As the old Irish proverb says, Ní neart go cur le chéile, there's no strength without unity. So here's to a future of unity, a future of respect, and a future of cohesion. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here. I wish you fruitful work in the day and days ahead. Gurv Mila Mahagat.
Thank you very much, Senator O'Loughlin. The time has come to actually say goodbye to our online audiences. Thank you very much.